Hello everyone, the topic I am going to present is designing and managing services. First, what is service? Service is an act of performance that one party can offer to another that is essentially intangible and does not result in the ownership of anything. It can be simply said that we may serve someone or we may get service from someone. The service may be of free cost or sometimes it may be paid and it is essential and intangible. What is intangible? It's an abstract noun and it cannot be seen. Next, we can see the categories of service mix. It's of 5 types. The first is pure tangible good. In this, we don't get any service. We just pay the amount and we get the products. The next is the tangible good with accompanying services. In this case, we pay and get a good, and we also get service for the good. For example, we may buy motors from the electrical shops. It needs to be fitted and served often. So it's a good with accompanying service. The next is hybrid service. In this, equal importance is given to goods and the services. For example, we may have we look for hotels which is both good for food and their service. So it's an example for hybrid service. The next is major service with accompanying minor goods and services. For example, airline passengers buy transportation services. We need to travel. For that, we should get a good bus, and also the service should be good. The next is pure service. It does not include any tangible good. It is purely of service nature. For example, babysitting, psychotherapy and massage. In these cases, we don't get any goods to home. We just get their service and return back. Next, we can see the characteristics of services and their marketing implications. There are 4 characteristics for services: intangibility, inseparability, variability and perishability. What is intangibility? Intangibility leads to sense that we cannot see that, cannot taste it, can't feel it, and we can't hear or smell it. It can just be it can just be felt, or we can just get it. The main task for the service provider is to tangibilize the intangible one, because service is intangible, we cannot see it or touch it, but we have to feel it, so it should be tangibilized. The next is inseparability. If a person renders the service, then the provider is part of the service and the buyer is another part of the service. The client is also present as the service is produced. Provider-client interaction is a special feature of service marketing. For example, if we go to a shop and buy something tangible good, we just pay for it and we get it. But if we go and ask for a service, we have to be more interactive with the person, because we need to tell the problem and they should understand it and they should solve it. So there should be more interaction. The next is variability. Variability means variability is the service are variable. It may vary from person, it may vary for goods, and it may vary in different situations. The next characteristic is the perishability. Service cannot be stored. When demand fluctuates, service firms have problems. For example, if we have some electricity problem in an area, many houses may be affected due to the fluctuations, and many of the electrical goods may have attained some problems. At that time, all those houses would look for a good electrician, and they may have more demand. And at the same time, if there's no problem in any electricity, everything is good, then no need will be there for the service persons. On the demand side, differential pricing, non-peak demand, complementary services, reservation system and part-time employees can be fixed to do the service at a good one. Differential pricing means will shift some demand from peak to off demand off peak periods. Sometimes there may be of a high demand for the service, and sometimes there may not be any demand for the service. Next, we can give some complementary services. For example, in a bank, if the person who have to provide the cash for all the one, it would be more difficult. But if there is some ATM machines, the customers can come and get the money and go. It's very simple and no need to wait for the person to lend it. And reservation systems may help the customers at good level. Next is the part-time employees. During the peak demand period, the manufacturer or the company can employ some part-time employees to satisfy the needs of the customer. Peak time efficiency routines should be introduced, and increase the consumer participation can be encouraged. Sometimes the consumer may give some idea to easyfy the process of getting service. So we have to hear the ideas from them and we can improve it. Next, shared services can be developed, and the facilities for future expansion can be developed. Marketing strategies for service firms. Product strategy, price strategy, place strategy, promotion, people, physical, evidence and process strategies are some of the strategies for the service firms. For example, in product strategy, the person who lends the service can differentiate the product, can vary the product from the other service lenders, which may get good success at the future. Next, managing differentiation. The success of budget priced airlines has shown that many flights care most about the cost than services. For example, if we have to travel a long distance, of course the service is very needed, but we first we look for the cost, how it is. So cost is more important than service in some cases. The alternative to price competition is to develop a differentiated offering, delivery or image. So more than to compete for price, it is better to compete for offering type, delivery and image. Fast and better delivery is very important because the consumer expect only that at a good level. A service company can differentiate itself by designing a better and fast delivery. 3 levels of differentiation are there. The first is reliability, second is resilience, and the third is innovativeness. What is reliability? The term reliability means to give a continuous service, not to lag at any time. Next, resilience. Resilience is the ability to regain its strength after a bad situation. And the third is innovativeness. The service should be somewhat good and innovative, can be new from others, which may attract more consumers. Next, managing the service quality. The quality of the service is very important. So it should be managed, and the 5 gaps should be filled with the good service quality. The first is the gap between consumer expectation and the management perception. The consumer may say a problem and the management may not understand it clearly and may come to a different perception. The second is the gap between management perception and the service quality specification. The third is the service quality specification and the service delivery. The fourth is the gap between service delivery and external communication, and the fifth is the gap between perceived service and the expected service. So there is a chain of difference coming from one spot to the next during the journey of service. So it's very important to fill all these gaps and to give a good service to the consumer. There are 5 determinants of service quality. They are the reliability, assurance, responsiveness, empathy and the tangibles. The first is reliability, which we said already, giving a continued service. And the second is the assurance. The consumer should have a belief about the company. And the third is the responsiveness. If If something bad occurs, the company should be responsible to the situation and come forward to clear it. And the fourth is the empathy, which means the company should understand what the consumer comes to say and should have a better perception. And the fourth is the tangibles. Tangible is something like a material good which is solid and it is very easy to perceive. Next, we can see the strategic concept. To service companies are customer obsessed, which means the company's thought should always be of the customer, and they should have a better understanding of the customer, and they should serve them better. They have a clear sense of their target customers and their needs. Next is top management commitment. Companies have thorough commitment to service quality. Some companies insert a reminder along with employees' paychecks. So, to have a good service, the company should look into the service quality and also about their employees. They should have better employees. They should give comfort to the employees in their company. Next, customers whose complaints are satisfactory resolved often become more company loyal than customers who were never dissatisfied. For example, if we get a good service from a company, we may suggest the company to the others. This is the point we say. Next, every complaint should be handled as a gift to the company, because there are only a few who come and say the demerits of company. We should not get discouraged by them. We should try to clear those defects and give a good service. Next is the positive employee attitude will promote stronger customer loyalty. So the employee should be in a positive mode, should talk efficiently and should give a good service. Next, it's important to audit employee job satisfaction regularly, because service is purely employee based. So the employee of the company should be satisfied at a good level. Next, careful in training its employee to be friendly. This is very important, because in service the customer and the interacting people is often frequent, because we have to say the problem, they should understand it, so the interaction should be good, and so that the employee should be friendly. Next, managing product support services. Manufacturers have to provide support product services. Customers have three specific worries. First is their worry about reliability and failure frequency. The second is the worry about downtime duration, and the third is the worry about out of pocket cost of maintenance and repair. So first, the service should be reliable and the failure frequency should be less, and the downtime duration should also be less, and the cost of maintenance and repair should also be less. The reference books are Marketing Management by Philip Kotler and Agricultural Marketing India by Acharya and Agarwal. Thank you.